Welcome to the Knicks Film School Postgame show presented by BetUS. Well, that was fun. That was quite a game there by our boys. One of the more interesting games of the season, obviously turned into a laugher, although I guess Tom Thibodeau did not get the memo when the Knicks kind of put their foot down and ended this game at some point towards the end of the third quarter. I'm sure that will come up once or twice on this post-game show, so I'm just going to leave that be for the moment. Look, it's a 24-point win, home win, and the Knicks just kind of continue to right the ship. Was it perfect? No. Was there defensive effort, defensive performance in the first half, the sort that you would hope to see out of the gate, coming off of a big win against Orlando to get them into the NBA Cup and the whole thing? Not really. Are they damn lucky they have Jalen Brunson? And I should say at the top, probably the biggest story to come out of this game. Actually, it's a few big stories to come out of this game. We're going to go through them right now. But we hope Jalen Brunson is okay. Did not re-enter the game after he checked out late in the third quarter. Of course, he ended up on the floor and I don't even think it was a foul, but appeared to get hit in the head, and then Nick Richards kind of landed on him. He was holding his ribs. He was back on the bench by the end of the game, so that's a good sign. You hope it's nothing serious. We'll keep our fingers crossed for Jalen, obviously, because as Jalen goes, so goes this team. And I kind of want to start there. Yeah, this game turned into a laugher, but when the Knicks were down by, I think it was 13 points in the first quarter, nobody was laughing. I certainly wasn't laughing. And it took a very, very special Jalen Brunson performance. And it's a misnomer to look at his stat line and see that he only ended up with 24 points, because it doesn't describe his importance to this game. Without Jalen Brunson basically taking control of the offense and saying, yeah, not tonight, not on my watch, and getting the thing. They were down by 2 after 1, and then they tied it quickly early in the second, although there was still some bumpiness after that just because of their defense in the first half of this game. But yeah, kudos to Jalen Brunson. And just kudos to this starting five. There will be, as we enter into trade season, we're 10 days away from the unofficial start of trade season, December 15th. A lot of the league can be traded, although we don't really see a whole lot of trades early on. Usually wait till January and realistically February. But, there's going to be a lot of talk about trade targets. There's going to be talk about, Mitchell Robinson coming back. What's he going to look like? Is he going to play significant minutes with Karl-Anthony Towns for the first time all season? You saw it tonight. Obviously, Precious Achiuwa was back. That's a big storyline. Tibbs played him and Towns together. I don't know that I would necessarily use that as a definitive indication that he is going to play Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns significant minutes together. Precious, and you saw it in his first game back tonight, can do some. He has some skills on the offensive end. And I think you saw those a couple times. I thought it was poetic that Karl-Anthony Towns hit Precious Achiuwa for an assist, and Precious Achiuwa had a really nice finish at the rim. There's a reason that a lot of people have been waiting for Achiuwa's return to see what it looks like with Towns, and you got a glimpse of it tonight, and I thought it looked pretty good. But I digress. But they're still going to be talking about Mitch and whether he's most valuable as a player on this team, as a salary in an outgoing trade, all of that stuff. At the end of the day, this team is going to go as far as this starting five takes them. And we've been saying that. I've been saying that at least since the beginning of the season. I never thought for a second that they would seriously consider changing the starting five. Never thought they should consider changing the starting five. And that's because the vision of this, when it's working, it's going to work pretty great. And That isn't to say that they're always going to be perfect. They certainly weren't perfect in the first half tonight. Offensively, they were like flat out, like kind of bad in the first few minutes of this game. But then you look at the final totals, and I'm just going down the list. Mikal Bridges plus 26, OG Anunoby plus 18, Karl-Anthony Towns plus 25, Jalen Brunson plus 22, Josh Hart plus 17. Every one of those guys scored at least 18 points. You got Josh Hart with 18, 10, and 6. You got Jalen Brunson with 24 points on eight shots. That's going to make your efficiency go up a little bit. You have Towns pulling down 16 rebounds and finally kind of getting into it. I thought it was a notable moment in the first half. I wrote it down. Actually, it might have been the second half. Hold on. Yeah, early in the second half. For the first time all game, after the Charlotte Hornets were showing absolutely no hesitation switching smalls or wings onto Karl-Anthony Towns, it took until the beginning of the third quarter for him to finally be like, all right, I'm going to exploit this now, and I'm going to make these guys pay. The first time he tried it resulted in an offensive foul, but the next time after that, it was a bucket. It sent them up 67 to 64. So you had Towns in his bag, although it took a little while to go to get there. Mikal Bridges finishes 2 assists shy of his career high in assists, ends up with 7 total. And in what has to be the funniest single statistic of the NBA, of the Knicks season, if not the NBA season, plays 47 minutes. It will go down as 47, not 46. It will go down as 47 minutes because he played most of the 47th minute. So the NBA stats, they round up. 47 minutes in a game that the Knicks won by 24 points. If ever you want to explain Tom Thibodeau in one sentence or in one stat to someone who has no idea who the man is or what he stands for or what drives him or his demons, you want to tell me that man doesn't have demons? 47 minutes for Mikal Bridges? It's December. It's the Hornets. You're up by almost 30. I'm laughing because I said to somebody on a recent postgame show, what do you want me to do? You want me to get fake mad at this stuff? I love this shit, but it drives people crazy. It drives people absolutely insane, and it should. I don't pretend that I'm rational for my response to this. I find it absolutely delightful, but anyway, so that's Mikal Bridges. And then, as he has been so often for this team, the glue that holds it all together. Like, yeah, Jalen Brunson is one of the, 5 most valuable players in the league. Karl-Anthony Towns may be one of the 5 most impactful offensive players in the league. Josh Hart, I don't need to sing his praises. Bridges is coming around. For all that being said, Brunson's an MVP candidate, so I don't know if you could say somebody else is the most important player on the Knicks, but man, OG Anunoby, what he brings to the table, especially when you have a guy on the other team who, like, I know Brandon Miller had a great first quarter. If it wasn't for OG Anunoby, I'm not convinced that Brandon Miller doesn't go off for 50 tonight and maybe keep the Hornets in that game for even longer than they were. And just OG, he's Deion Sanders. He just shuts down an entire side of the field. The possession that they had where he had 2 blocked 3-pointers in the same 30-second sequence, and one 30-second sequence was, one of the most insane things you'll ever see in a basketball game. Incredible. And as a starting unit, those 5 are obviously starting to come together. And that is what is really important for this team, because again, I'm not saying that they should play all 48 minutes of every game together. Although if Thibodeau had his ways, no, that's not true. He would play Deuce, and we should say that Deuce was he was a plus 13 in his own right. Played 28 minutes. Like he's a true 6-man. But yeah, it comes down to those 5. It comes down to those 5, and I thought they were very good tonight. I'm just actually pulling up the data for tonight. So the starting five, because Brunson had to leave early, only actually played 18 minutes and 51 seconds together. In that time, they had a 131.6 offensive rating. Shout out to Pivot Fade for these stats. And a 100 defensive rating. So after that choppy start in the first half, give credit where credit is due. The starting five put it together defensively as well. And they did what they had to do. So really good performance eventually by them. Certainly a good offensive performance for really the entire game. And it's just another game where they did what they had to do. And the Knicks don't look now, but they are starting to, and I know the opposition has not been great, but they are starting to string together some pretty impressive performances. That's the fourth win in a row for them. It's their second 4-game win streak in the last 11 games. They have now won 9 of their last 11, or excuse me, 9 of their last 12. And the last 4 wins, I mean, the first Charlotte win in Charlotte, which is again the 5th game of a 5-game road trip, so take it with a grain of salt. 1-point win, followed by a 23-point win that could have been a lot bigger, a 15-point win that could have been a lot bigger, and tonight was a 24-point win that I would argue also could have been a bit bigger. So, it's good stuff. I don't want to go on too much longer in the monologue because I know people are going to hit on a lot of the specific issues or the specific things that came up in this game in the super chats. I probably haven't praised Josh Hart enough. That for as important as Jalen Brunson was in the first quarter, Josh Hart was just as important in the second quarter. So shout out to Josh Hart. Those two guys are going to be competing for my 3-star player of the game, along with Anunoby. Actually, it's those three. I don't know which one I'm going to give it to. But let me go back to Precious for a second and Jericho Sims, because one thing that was discussed a lot coming into tonight, certainly with Precious back, was how is it going to look? Is he going to extend the rotation? And sure enough, we just got an update, by the way, this courtesy of James Edwards III. Shout out to James, just came on the pod. He says Brunson could have gone back in the game, so you'd think that it's nothing serious for JB, which is great news. Anyway, so interesting situation to talk about with Precious and Sims, because Campaign was out tonight. So did that have an effect on the rotation? Did it not have an effect on the rotation? I think it had an effect on the rotation in that he just wasn't going to extend it to somebody that he didn't feel comfortable playing. And like, clearly Tyler Kolek has not entered the circle of trust yet, because Campaign was out tonight. We didn't see Kolek until the last minute of the game. And Sims was the first big off the bench, played 3 minutes. It was his worst 3 minutes of the season. And then Precious Achiuwa came in as the next. So Towns replaced Sims. Precious then replaced Towns, played a little bit in the first half, went back out. Towns came back in. And then the second half, we didn't see Sims at all. And Precious came in to replace Towns. And then I believe he stayed in when Towns came back in. So the two of them played together for a little bit. I don't know that I would read that as Sims is now out of the rotation. I think Sims had a really bad half. We've seen this before. It happened in, I forget what game it happened in. It was a game earlier in the season when Ariel Hukporti, or was that, it may have actually been the preseason. I don't know. It all runs together in my head. So Kev, Andrew, if one of you guys want to remind me. But the game when Sims was the first big, and then Ariel Hukporti came in and ended up playing 30 minutes. It wasn't, and I think that maybe it was versus Brooklyn. Thank you, Andrew. It was in season. It was versus Brooklyn. Again, my brain doesn't work anymore. But Hukporti came in and played a ton of minutes. Oh, that was the game Towns missed. That's right. That's what it was. Hukporti came in, played a ton of minutes, and we thought, oh, did Hukporti pass Sims in the rotation? No. Sims next game, much to the chagrin of some. And then, ironically, that's when Sims turned his season around, right around that point. So I wouldn't say that Sims is going to be mothballed based on what we saw tonight, but now he's got another option, and an option that he trusts. And it's different than Ariel Hukporti. Ariel Hukporti, he said after those games, like, yeah, we were just looking for energy. This is different. Precious could play. And you were reminded of that tonight. I don't think anybody needed to be reminded, but if you needed to be reminded, you were reminded of it tonight. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. As of right now, if campaign is healthy, I'd still probably bet on a 9-man rotation. I wouldn't place a lot of money on it, though. I would have placed more money on it before this game. I wouldn't place a lot of money on it now. So, we'll see. But that's certainly a topic of discussion. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really it. Like, it was a don't play with your food kind of win. They played with their food for a half, and then after halftime, they stopped playing with their food. And they put forth one of the most dominant quarters that they have all season. That it would have been, I think they ended up outscoring the Hornets by 22 points in the quarter, and it would have been 25 points in the quarter if Brandon Miller didn't hit that miracle shot at the end. So 2 more 35-point quarters for the Knicks in this game. I wrote about that a little bit in the newsletter today, how many 35-point quarters they have. Second coming into tonight only to the Cavs, so you could add 2 more to that total. They're dominant sometimes. They're just dominant. Okay. Let me do my autograph signature moment of the game. I'm going to go with the Karl-Anthony Towns rim attack. I already shouted out the 2 OG blocks, but that wasn't one moment. It was 2 moments. If it was autograph signature moments of the game, I would have the 2 OG blocks. It's moment of the game. So I'm going to do the cat rim attack. Got the and one. It made it 87-68. It was their biggest lead of the game to that point. And emotion really high from Cat because you could tell he had been frustrated all night long, and he let out like I don't know if it was a scream or a yell or something, but he let out a lot of that emotion after he got that dunk down, and he's like, thank God. So shout out to Karl-Anthony Towns for that very fun moment. Shout out to Autograph. Go download the Autograph app anywhere you get your apps. Use code KFS and start getting rewarded for your fandom and all the stuff that you do anyway. Yeah. Okay. We also have Andrew Claudio has given me the official update, the only update that matters, the only update that should matter to anybody here, which is that after this win, after this dominant performance, the New York Knicks are up to 4th in the NBA in net rating. They have passed the Houston Rockets and the Memphis Grizzlies, although I think actually they probably were ahead of the Rockets coming into this game. Well, they passed the Grizzlies. They are plus 7.7 points per 100 possessions, better than their opponents. Now, they got a ways to go before third, second, and first. OKC's plus 12. They're awesome. Boston and Cleveland are both a little bit above plus 10. And if you care about things like defense, Knicks now 19th at 113.9, 0.1 points per 100 possessions behind the 18th place Kings, who are playing, I believe, right now. And they are within shouting distance of the 14th place Philadelphia 76ers, who are at 113.2. So the Knicks, 0.7 points per 100 0.7 points per 100 possessions away from having a top half of the league defense. That's the goal, right? That's not saying that's the ultimate goal. That's the goal right now. That's the first goal. The top half of the league. After you get in the top half of the league, maybe think about getting higher than that, but one step at a time. Okay. Let's get to the Super Chats. I'm curious what people want to talk about today, and I'm down for whatever you guys are down to talk about. Even if it's all about Tibbs being a crazy person. Okay. Drew P starts us off. I didn't fully grasp just how versatile we are when fully healthy. Big lineups or small, transition or half court. We have so many options. Just wow. I love that you started us off with this, Drew, because I had the exact same thought. Benji tweeted it during the game. for the first time all season, after Precious came in to join, or after Towns came in to join Precious, the Knicks switched everything. Hadn't happened all season. Happened after those two guys were on the court together. And it makes all the sense in the world that they would do that. And then you want to talk about a way to go to a throwback to last season, where this team, and really the last 4 seasons, where this team survived. So much of their survival was dependent on offensive rebounds. You got a little bit of that too. And just like, it's funny, and to your point, you phrased it perfectly, Drew. When Towns is at the 5 and they're playing all the wings and Jalen, or even all, Deuce and Jalen, or all the wings and Deuce, whoever, that's one type of threat. That's one type of way they could beat you. But when you put Towns next to another big, especially a skilled big like Precious, who he could, and like, again, we saw him become quite the passer to Rudy Gobert on those lob attempts in Minnesota over the last few years. So you give him another big guy to be like, oh, wait a minute, I could throw it over the top to you. And it's a big guy like Precious who could move and like has good hands and all that. Like, that's, man, they got some stuff they could go to. They got some stuff that they could go to. All right. Thank you, Drew, for starting us off. Appreciate you, man. Cayenne Pepper. Carl, I apologize, sir. Thanks, Macri. I don't know why you're thanking me. I didn't do anything. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. Look, let's not sit here and pretend that all of the narratives about Karl-Anthony Towns over the first, 9 years of his career were not at least partially earned. Did people make a bigger deal out of perhaps his shortcomings in big games because those are the games that they usually watch the Minnesota Timberwolves? Maybe. Now, we'll see if I'm singing the same tune if he has some more shortcomings in Knicks playoff games come April and May and hopefully beyond. But it's between that, the sound bites, and then when I might talk about this recently, when you combine the sound bites, because again, it's not like 95% of what he says that's like totally normal. That doesn't circulate. It's the 5% of what he says that's like a little out there. But when you combine the sound bites with he's an easy guy, or he has been an easy guy over the course of his career to clip stuff, and that's not flattering. So, but again, I don't think you have to apologize, Kanyan. I really don't. Like, unless you were saying some truly like nasty stuff, which I don't know. That's between you and your God. But no, I mean, he's been an imperfect player. He's been an imperfect star, but he's been an imperfect player for sure over the course of his career. And now I think maybe he found his home. I think that's what it might be. Thank you. Danny Gardner, what's going on? Danny, good to see you back, brother. 24 points on 8 shots, the ultimate point guard. Yeah, the only thing I feel bad about, and you obviously talk about Jalen Brunson here, his assist rate has gone down the last couple of games, because the last game against Orlando, I think he only had 4 or 5 assists. This game had 5, but again, that's what they needed from him in this game. They needed him to score early, and I think there was a quote from Tibbs at the beginning or during his media session talking about how they needed Jalen shot making early on in this game. So, and again, it's not like they weren't moving the ball. I felt a little bad. Again, talk about poetry. It would have been so perfect to have them get 30 assists tonight to make it 11 30-assist games in 22 games played. So in exactly half of their games, when last season they had 10 in 82 games, there would have been a symmetry to that. As of now, they're stuck on 10 because they had 29 assists tonight. They needed one more assist to get to 30. Would have made it 11 in 22 games. Is what it is, but it's fine. They'll get it the next game. Okay. Next up, Danny with another one. Modern day point guard. Yeah, sure. I love it. He's in the conversation for the best point guard in the NBA. He was in that conversation last year. He's in the conversation this year. hopefully he's in the conversation for another few years after this. Pretty cool. Thanks, Danny. Matt G, what's going on, Matt? That lineup at the end of the third, that defense, oh my God. Yeah. So the lineup you're referring to, let me just make sure I don't get it wrong, because that would be embarrassing. Not that I've ever embarrassed myself on this show before. So you had Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, obviously, Deuce, and Precious. That doggo hunt. 5 strong defenders. I'm excited to see that against a better offense than Charlotte. No offense against Charlotte, but I'm excited to see that against better offense. I don't. This is kind of how we have to start talking about this team. Just like, okay, wake me when the playoffs start. Can you survive offensively for even a couple minutes with that lineup in the playoffs against a good defense that is locked in? I don't know. My gut feeling is we're probably not going to see any playoff minutes, barring injury, without either Jalen Brunson or Karl-Anthony Towns on the floor. That said, am I sure about that? Would I bet my life on it? Absolutely not. When you take what Josh Hart has been offensively this year, what OG has been offensively this year, what Mikal has been offensively in the past, and what he could show. When you take Deuce, what he's been offensively, and Precious, like all 5 of those guys have some real stuff that they could offer on the offensive end of the floor. Have any of them spent really any meaningful time this season as the first offensive option for the Knicks? No. Is there a whole is greater than the sum of the parts thing that group? You know what? The answer to this question is going to be, does Tibbs give that unit real time moving forward to try to develop enough offensive chemistry where he might trust it in the playoffs? We'll see. That's an interesting question, and I'm going to be wondering. Thank you, Matt. Robert Cross. I know Robert's happy tonight. Shout out to Robert. First time, long time. It's your boy John. I enjoyed these double big minutes, switching everything. What say you? Defense. Yeah, I love it, but I don't want to be a downer. I've been very consistent since the beginning of the year. Precious and Towns excites me more than Mitch and Towns. And that's because I don't quite trust Mitch as much offensively as I do Precious. And you saw Precious do 2, 3, 4 things tonight that Mitchell Robinson's never done on the court. And I think that offensive drop-off is significant. And I think this team has a way that they play now where, it's a who was talking about on the Hoop Collective today? They were talking about the Rockets and all the young talent, and like, if you don't defend, you don't play. I kind of like that we're at the point with the Knicks where if you can't fit into this offense and keep this offense humming at the rate that it's been humming, and they're humming at a rate that's higher than any team has ever hummed in league history, I kind of like that. Like, yeah, you're not going to play. So how do we work Mitch back into that? Do we work Mitch back into that? Or is there something else that is maybe going to be on the table? I don't know. We'll see. Thank you, Robert. Kevin Danishevsky, the man with the crystal ball, predicted this afternoon, and I have the Substack chat to prove it. He was like, I bet they sit Payne tonight. Where that came from, I have no idea. But shout out to you, man. I hope you put money on that. OG Precious switchability is the main takeaway from this game. Insane. Sims may be out of the rotation. He might be. Wouldn't shock me. But I'm betting on he stays in. Cat's floor and ceiling are so much higher than 30. You didn't want to write his name there, Kev? Different players. They're just different players. I'm not gonna besmirch Julius Randle, who's a great Knick. And I mean that like not facetiously at all. He was a great Knick. So I don't want to besmirch his name because there's no reason to. There's no reason to. As far as OG and Precious, like, yeah, man, that's and look, it's like we saw that already in the most important minutes of the up until that point, the most important game of last season, game 4 in Philadelphia, fourth quarter, in a freaking dogfight with a team that is playing for its mortality. Who were the two bigs in the game? OG Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa, and they shut that offense and Joel Embiid down. So we know they could do it, and we know what they're capable of on offense. I think my bigger question is again, projecting forward in the playoffs, he's never going to go away from Towns and nor should he, because Towns might make an All-NBA team this year. But how often will there be game situations where he's like, I just need to lean all the way into the defense, and we see Precious and OG and McCall and Hart or Deuce, in fairness, with Jalen. And it's like, all right, Jalen, go do what you do on offense. And on defense, we're gonna give him absolute hell. That's why I would expect it to be Hart and not Deuce, because you get a little bit more size. But yeah. Thanks, Kev. Sam Garcia, McCall, 46 minutes. Tibbs, you psycho. It took a little while to get to our first Tibbs, you psycho super chat, but I mean, it's warranted. And again, go to ESPN.com. It says 47 minutes. I'm fairly certain. No, I know he's laughing. We're all laughing. How could you not laugh? It's Tibbs is a crazy man. He's insane. He's not well. He's not a well person. That's all there is to it. Thank you, Sam. SF New York, thanks for the contribution. Oh, Andrew's like, read the laughing emojis. So I'm supposed to say if I see an emoji what the emoji is? Okay, I'll start doing that. Shout out to Andrew and Kevin are both on the ones and twos because don't talk about why, because I don't want to jinx anything. Dan Hidalgo, how many more wins until we can get reckless again? Finish off this month like you're supposed to. Go. I miscounted in my newsletter today in terms of how many games they play this month. Like, go. Andrew's saying win the cup. I mean, reckless as far as what? That they could win the championship? I've been pretty consistent. Like, they have not played like contenders. At no point this season has anything happened where I'm like, this team cannot win the championship. This team will win the championship. If that's reckless, then we could get reckless right now. I've never backed off that stance at any point this year that this team is capable of winning a championship. I mean, Boston is a unique beast, and OKC's not too shabby either, but no, they could win it. So if that's irresponsible, then go for it. Thanks, Dan. Deadwords 604. Thank you, Deadwords. That OG Deuce, Bridges, Precious, and Hart lineup looks so intriguing on defense. Another shout out to that lineup. I mean, I'll pull up the data just because I have it right here. So that lineup played. See, they played 2 minutes and 39 seconds. They outscored the Hornets in those 2 minutes and 39 seconds, 8-5, which, if you're curious, is a 200 offensive rating and a 100 defensive rating. No, it's very intriguing. It's very intriguing, but it was 2 minutes and 39 seconds. So yeah, let's I hope we see more of it. I'll say that. And then for anybody wondering about the Towns precious minutes, plus McBride, Bridges, and Hart. So OG wasn't even on the floor for this. 7 minutes. Third most used lineup tonight. Notable. 133.3 on offense, 85.7 on defense. They outscored the Hornets 20-12 in those 7 minutes. Pretty impressive. Thanks, Edwards. Hush Zoo, what's going on, Hush? Tibbs is nuts, but he gives the people their money's worth. Truly the man of the people. Everyone on this team is generational. This is a special squad. Man, I hope they're special. I would love nothing more than that to come to fruition. I mean, you gotta earn special. They have special potential. For sure. They have special potential. I would argue that they... Yeah, I would argue that they have more potential than any team I've ever watched in my lifetime. I feel that strongly about the offense and confident enough in what they could be defensively. Perhaps with one more personnel adjustment somewhere along the way. Yeah, I think they have the most potential of any team, any Knicks team I've ever seen. Will they get there? We'll see. Thank you, Hush. SF New York with another generous contribution. I'm sure there's some comment here from SF New York somewhere along the way. I would guess, but either way, thank you. Juanon, what's going on, Juanon? I get excited when I see it. It's because it's always something good. Even when it's bad, it's good. Precious is Tibbs' new Taj and will be very valuable to this team and our defensive scheming. Also, I told you so. Everyone, can we stay calm next time? Panicky MFers. This is why we stay calm. # fire Tibbs. It's tough to look at 4th and net rating and not like I mean, again, they're 4th in net rating. I don't know, like, what else. You could still have doubts about this team and about this defense. Go watch the first half tonight, and you can have doubts about this team and their defense. Like, they're capable of being a bad defense against like against a bad offense. So, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, if you doubt this team, you are crazy. But I think, Juanon, to your point, I think you're more aiming this at the people who were jumping off of roofs. And I don't know about you, Juanon. I have those people in my life. I'm sure you have those people in your life. Those people exist on the interwebs and in real life. I just couldn't get there. And look, I always add the caveat. Maybe famous last words on my part. Maybe the whole thing goes belly up and we look stupid, Juanon. But I don't know, man. Knowing the coach, knowing Brunson, knowing Hart. No, I mean, I just go down the list. Knowing all these guys, it's what I don't know. It would shock me, absent injuries or something. Thanks, Juanon. Always appreciate you, man. Jessica Elsner, what's going on, Jess? How are you? I know you were not jumping off any roofs. The hardest defense of the night was Han keeping OG from grabbing the mic. Because it's like OG is, again, it's a bit. It's all a bit. He's just, I bet he's a fun guy to go to a bar with and have a couple cocktails. Here, have OG, if you're watching, or if anybody watching knows OG Anunoby, tell him Case of one, please, on me. I just picked up a bunch. They're in my mini fridge right here. I bet he's a lot of fun. More importantly, I'll just read the rest of Jessica's chat. I turned 43 tomorrow, and I got both wins I wanted for my birthday. Let's go, Knicks. Yes. I won't. Well, I guess I can get to you because, there's a lot of day tomorrow before sundown. But I will say now publicly for everybody to hear, you are without question one of my favorite fans of the Knicks and of Knicks Film School, and I'm honored that you are a fan of Knicks Film School because the fact that we even have fans is a wild thing, but the fact that we have fans that are as dedicated as you and have put forth the amount of blood, sweat, and tears to this larger project, it means a lot to me. So I just want to say thank you and happy birthday. And I believe you have one more short comment, and then we're going to pay the bills. Also, wow, Carl, OG, Hart, JB, MC3. I like that. What a game. Let's go Knicks. It was a great game for all the starters. No complaints about any of them. And yeah, pretty good. Okay. On that note, let us hear from our friends at Turtle Beach. If you're watching right now on the YouTube, you could see my Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset that I am wearing on my very head, which, hey, listen, if you want to get a gift for the gamer in your life, or you just want to relive those holiday gaming marathons, Turtle Beach has the cheat code for the best gift of the year. Our listeners, limited time only, of course, 10% off your entire order when you use code KFS at turtlebeach.com. 10% off your order, turtlebeach.com, code KFS. Don't wait. Head over there now. Get your Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset and gift the feeling of Christmas all over again. Or if you just want to get any of their other spectacular products, they don't just have headsets, and any gaming accessory you could ever want. Quality is high. Prices are low. Again, turtlebeach.com. These particular headphones that I am wearing, 80-hour battery life. You can't beat that. Cross-play dual wireless transmitter system, so you could be switching back and forth between all the things that you want to switch back and forth between. It has it all.
Hold on, John. Are you talking about the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset?
Funny you say that, Andrew, because yes, I am talking about the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset.
The Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset, the noise-canceling Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset, the one
that cancels the noise if you don't want the noise.
Exactly. The coveted Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset that you get 10% off using our promo code that you're going to read later.
That one.
That Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset?
Why are you killing me?
I can't tell if you got quieter or if I got quieter. I don't know. Regardless, get the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. It's awesome.
One more time, for the most ultimate immersive gaming experience, or just for a great pair of headphones, go to turtlebeach.com, use code KFS for 10% off your entire order. One more time, that's 10% off your entire order at turtlebeach.com with promo code KFS. Don't delay. Get the perfect gift now. Happy holidays from Turtle Beach. Okay. Andrew, you're a sicker man than Tibbs. You know that? You really are. I just want you to know that.
What did I do?
You didn't do anything.
I just like to talk about the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. It's my favorite headset. And it's Gen 3, John.
It's not Gen 1 or Gen 2.
Not Gen 1 or Gen 2, the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. The perfect holiday gift for any gamer or podcaster.
Gen 3.
Gen 3 to the dome Stealth 700 headset. I heard half of this ad while I was watching football. That's how good the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset is. The range on the Bluetooth is outstanding. I could go listen to the post game in my living room if I want to. The Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset.
I don't know why this got me.
Everybody go check out the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset, available at turtlebeach.com. Use promo code KFS to get 10% off your entire order. And you can watch us by listening to your Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. Well, in your Gen. And if you want to, we're not going to because we have professional microphones. You can put the mic down and you can talk into your Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. Like while you're on the phone, I was on the phone with the IRS for a long time the other day.
You were?
And I was doing it through my Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. It was awesome. Okay. I think we did the duty. Continue with your post-game show.
Oh my God. That crazy man. I've crazy men in my life. Andrew Claudio, Tom Thibodeau. It's wild. The plaid unicorn. Hello, sir. I love how unselfish this team is. Yeah. On a McCall take, he missed a wide open OG. He ran to him and said, "My bad." Next play, hit him for a wide open three. You see it with the assist percentage. And again, I've said the stat a few times. I'll say it again. 3 of the last 4 years, they were a bottom, I believe, 2 assist percentage team. If not a bottom, I'm pretty sure bottom 2, maybe bottom 3 at least. They are now, I'll check it. It probably didn't go up, if at all, too much tonight. But right now in assist percentage, they are 13th. From bottom 2, 3 of the last 4 years, and the other year they were like 20, I don't know, 22nd or 3rd or something like that. They're 13th in assist percentage. 1 spot behind the Indiana Pacers, who were obviously when you think of like great passing and ball movement and all that, like Indiana's one of the teams you think of. They haven't been great this year, but it is an ethos. And what I love most about it is like, there are times when, whether it's Brunson or Towns, usually one of those guys, will just call their own number. Like, it's not selfish when they do it. It's necessary. It's necessary because, like, in the case of tonight, they needed some points, so Jalen Brunson got him some points. It's necessary because, the defense is going to play us that way. Well, we got to punish them. So, everything is unselfish. Everything is for the betterment of the team. Who on this team do you I'm not saying you, but like anybody doesn't care about the team first? Everybody cares about the team first. And if you are one of those doubters out there who still has questions about their long-term viability, and you're like, I don't know with this and that, fall back on that. Fall back on that. Fall back on, they all these guys want to do is win. And I was going to say none of them have won a championship yet. OG actually has won a championship, but like, these guys are desperate, man, to win. I believe that. And I think you see that in how they play. Thank you, Plaid Unicorns. Great comment by you. Hush Zoo. That Precious lineup, that defense will be scary. It gives them another capability, and I'm going to die on this hill. I think it doesn't take too much off the offensive end. And by the way, it's another benefit of Bridges, right? Is last year when they went to Precious at the 5, it was a little small. Now you add in Bridges to OG and Hart, and then Deuce obviously is Deuce. It changes things a little bit. And again, I read you the stats with the Towns lineup. With Towns, I think it works too. Thanks, Hush. Manny Campos, what's going on, Manny? How are you, my friend? Shout out to Josh Hart, Mr. Do Everything for this team. Hustle, boards, assists, defense, and now 40% from 3 for the season. Truly indispensable. He's one of one. There's nobody quite like him in the league. We said that about Draymond Green for a long time, and You know what the tough part about it is for Josh? You know, Draymond made all-star teams, and I'm pretty sure he made an all-NBA team or two. I should know that off the top of my head. I think he made 2. Hart's never going to get that because he's going to be on a team. I mean, barring something crazy, he's always going to be on the team where he's never going to be viewed as like anything more than like the 4th best player on the team. And it's just so he's not going to get those sorts of accolades, and that he's not going to end up with that kind of resume. But like, I don't know, Draymond 2-time All NBA. Thank you, Kevin. People look at Boston, and last year there was this very vocal contingent of NBA watchers out there who are like, Derek White must be an all-star. And I think they had a point. He didn't end up making the all-star team, but he was never in that kind of genuine consideration because he's like, well, he's kind of like the 5th guy, right? Because you look at Tatum and Brown and KP and Drew Holiday, obviously. I hope at one point there's at least that conversation at least happens with Josh Hart because he deserves it. He really does. That guy's such a good NBA player. Is he a top like 50 NBA player, top 60, top 70? I don't know where I'd rank him, you know, but he's somewhere in that mix. He really is. Thank you, Manny. Armand Bernadjaj. OG grabbing the mic and Kat yelling at him was perfect. Yeah. It was. I like that. Listen, they got chemistry. This group likes each other. They're having fun. Kat's back home. OG got paid. Josh is on course to be like the next Michael Strahan. He's gonna have a media career. Jalen Brunson's the most beloved New York athlete since fucking Babe Ruth. I don't know. You know, it's nice to see. It's nice to see. Thanks, Armand. Chris V. How far do the Knicks have to go for Leon to get executive of the year? Oh, boy. Hold on. I always like to honor good questions. And that's a good question. So, Cleveland didn't do anything. Like, they signed Mitchell to the extension, but they didn't make any. They hired Atkinson. That's not enough. Boston brought back their team. That's not enough. Orlando didn't do anything, but go down the list. No, not going to be anyone there. It's funny. I wonder if I mean this. I swear I mean this seriously. Depending on what he can get for his players at the deadline, and they would never do it. They would never give him the award. I wonder how many people would think about voting for Sean Marks. I'm dead serious. Getting what he got for Bridges, after getting what he got for Durant and getting what he got for Kyrie, like if he keeps getting like stuff, I bet you there will be people who will make a case for him. I will not. Man, I don't like Houston and OKC, but Houston did their work in past years. They didn't do anything this summer, really. Like they kept it together. It's the trades they didn't make. And then you got OKC, who spent $30 million a year on Isaiah Hartenstein and made a trade with the Bulls that everybody immediately was like, why did the Bulls do that? I don't know. He's got a chance. He's got a real chance. I mean, Bridges would need to start playing really consistently. I don't know that they need to go like Do they need to make the conference finals? Do they need to make the finals? Like, I don't. I think he's got a real shot. And again, last thing I'll say, that particular award, as I have read it in years past, it is not quite a career achievement award, but it is absolutely an award that seems to encompass not just the prior 12 months, even though you need to have done stuff in the prior 12 months. You absolutely need to like do stuff, but it's like, we'll give you credit for some stuff that led up to the previous 12 months. So for that reason, I think Leon is a real shot. That's a real good question, Chris. I appreciate you asking that. Maybe there's an obvious team that I'm missing, but I think he's got a real nice shot. Thanks, Chris. Bernard Richardson, what's going on, Bernard? 9-2 the last 11 and 11-4 in the last 15. Good and fun team. Yeah, and if you want to go back one more game or two more games, right? So over their last 13, they are 10-3. Right? 10-3. Over their last 13 games, the Knicks are neck and neck with the Memphis Grizzlies for the best net rating in the NBA. They are plus 10.1. The Grizzlies are plus 10.5. Neck and neck over the last 13 games. I think that's pretty good. And if you want to go back the last 15 games, as you're doing, third best net rating, plus 9.6. And if you want to just go back the last 11 games, third also. But right now, plus the last 13 games, that's the sweet spot. But like any way you cut it, they've been an elite team for a little while now. So that's good. Thanks, Bernard. Danny Small. It is mine, I tell you. My own. My precious. Yes, my precious. That, of course, is a quote from Gollum of the Lord of the Rings movies. I have not sat down and watched one of the original. I've never watched the Hobbit movies or like the TV shows. I have not sat down and watched one of the Lord of the Rings movies in. It's got to be 10 years. I'm overdue. Because those are great films. P.S. Tibbs is a psycho, but that's why he's great. T-Mac scored 13 points in 33 seconds. Yes, he did. And so if you extrapolate that out, you would need like a 150-point lead with 5 minutes to go to make it, have it be secure. No, he's awesome. Do it. Do what? Oh, reread it like Golem. Andrew and Cav are both telling me to reread this like Golem. No, I'm not going to reread it like Golem.
Do it.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. There are things that I will do. I have no pride. You guys know this. I have no pride. I will say anything. I will make myself look like an utter fool. You're muted.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute my Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. Danny Small clearly wanted you to read this because it's in quotes like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings.
Gollum.
That's the same person. Smeagol and Gollum.
I know, but it's I know he refers to himself as Smeagol.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm familiar with the whole gist of it.
This man, I'll tell you my own, my precious, my precious.
I can't.
That's all you had to do.
No, I can't. I can't do
that.
that. I don't do voice work. I don't do accents. I don't do voice work.
We'll get him next time, Danny Small. Don't worry.
You're Chris Ryan. I'm Sean Fennessy.
Clearly in this case.
Clearly.
Although fuck Philly, so I'm not Chris Ryan completely, but All the other things, yes.
I think he's pretty done with the Sixers. So, Dwayne Barlow, what's going on, Dwayne? Third quarter reminded me of the 2014-15 Warriors. I mean, I sent out a skeet, saying it was like, a Star Wars movie where they have the stormtroopers on the ground and they're shooting at the rebels, and the rebels are shooting back, and there's a whole thing. And then someone sends a message to the Death Star, like, could you just end this? And then they just blow up the planet. That's what that was. It's awe-inspiring. And it wasn't just awe-inspiring on offense, it was awe-inspiring on defense too. And again, that's how many different ways this team could beat you. It's good stuff. Fun team we got there right now. Thank you, Dwayne. Jason M. What's going on, Jason? Nothing funny about McCall playing 47 minutes tonight. I know, Jason. You are truly the minutes police. This stuff bothers you. It genuinely bothers you. I'm sorry it doesn't bother me. I don't know what to tell you. But to the point that others have made, and I've made this point a lot in the past. When you get this head coach, it's the whole package. It's the whole kit and caboodle. Till death do us part. Love you in sickness and in health, for better or worse. Everybody has their things. This is his thing. So, yeah. Thank you, Jason. CC Kirby, what's going on, CC? We should also say, by the way, speaking of Tibbs, he said that campaign is day-to-day with left elbow injury. Said they'll see how he feels tomorrow. So that's good. Okay. CC Kirby, the two back-to-back blocks on the three-point attempts by OG that led to OG chance on the guarding cleared my sinuses, harvested my crops, gave me euphoria. That's great. I'm happy about that. That's awesome. Yeah, no, to me, I've written this, I've commented this on this. The biggest reason that I want them to get into the top 10 in defense, or close to the top 10 in defense, I want OG Anunoby to end up. I think this is my goal at this point, because Wemby's probably going to win the award. Although, speaking of teams that are not top 10 in defense, the Spurs right now are 20th in defense. 20th. And Wemby's the front runner for the award. So I want OG to end up on the ballot. I want him to be one of the three names, because the last time a Knick finished top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year voting, I think it was when Chandler won it. Andrew, Kev, if you guys want to double check that, I'm almost certain. I don't think, no, yeah, it's when he won it. Nobody's been top 3 since then. So it'd be cool to have someone else on the ballot. Thanks, CC. Robert W. Cross. We got Josh Hart for Cam Reddish shooting 37.7% from 3. Is he? He's not 40%? I thought he was 40%. We'll have to look that up. Whatever it is, it's awesome. And he is awesome. We didn't just get him for Cam Reddish. We got him for Cam Reddish and a draft pick. Speaking of which, 2000, that was a 2023 NBA draft, right? I completely am spacing on who Portland. Oh, they drafted Chris Murray. How's Chris Murray doing this year? Chris Murray is averaging 4 points a game in 13 minutes per game. He has appeared in 19 games. He's been pretty efficient, although he's only shooting 31% from 3. Not great. So, yeah. Cam Reddish and Chris Murray. Thank you, Portland. And thank you, Robert. PKNY, thank you for the very generous contribution, PK. It's really nice of you. The big run is upon us. Well, if they're going on a big run, then it's going to mean an NBA Cup championship, which, I think would be awesome. I have downplayed the Cup, at least in terms of how much I care about the Cup. I think it would be very cool. Like, if they win the thing, am I going to sit here and be like, all right, let's start, planning the ticker tape parade for June? No, but if they care about it and it's clear they care about it and they go and they do well in that thing, that's freaking awesome. It's not bad. Although, I again wouldn't hate the extra rest, but at this point, for them to get extra rest, it means that they lose a game, and I don't want them to lose a game. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long they keep it going for. They've had big winning streaks in 3 of Tibbs' 4 prior seasons as coach. So it is something that they kind of make a habit of. Thank you, PKNY. Appreciate you. Kevin is telling me that Mitch tweeted he got big news tonight. Oh, there it is. I have Mitch on notifications. Why didn't... Let's go. Got some great news. I wonder if it has anything to do with basketball. I don't know. We'll see. Bernard Richardson, what's going on, Bernard? Thank you again for yet another generous contribution. Make sure you enjoy some catnip with your wand, please, while writing the newsletter tonight. I need to actually Actually, I'm kind of out of ice, so I might as well just drink it from the can after I'm done with this. No, I love me some catnip. And I love me some cat. We should do a full statistical check-in on how the various Knicks are doing in terms of individual statistics. We'll do that in a few minutes before we get out of here. All right, next up. Kevin Danishevsky, Nostradamus. Whether Sims is out or not, I think it signals that Tibbs is not comfy with 2 non-shooting big lineups. Signals a trade, in my opinion. Fred brought up Miles Turner. You're doing this to me an hour and 10 minutes into the freaking postgame, Kev? I could kill you. Yes, I am aware that Fred brought up Miles Turner. I think Fred has been curious about whether the Pacers would explore a trade for Miles Turner for a while now. I think the biggest reason why, and we're gonna have Fred on in a couple of weeks, and I'll ask him directly, especially since by that point we'll be past December 15th, so trades, maybe more on the table. I would guess that has more to do with the fact that the Pacers are currently 10th in the Eastern Conference at 9-14, and speaking of net ratings, have the... What do we got here? 24th best net rating in the league, ahead of only the Hornets, Sixers, Blazers, Jazz, Pelicans, and Wizards. Those are the only teams that the Pacers are outperforming right now by average point differential. They're 1 spot behind the Los Angeles Lakers. Shout out, by the way, Sam Vecini. I loved the video that he did today. I watched that actually when I got up on the Lakers. Not so great performance last night. But yeah, so I think it's more about the Pacers struggles. Do I think the Knicks would put forth the best offer for Turner? I can't get into whether I want Turner given what the cost would be. Let's just... And by the way, I agree with you with the 2 non-shooting big lineups. I don't think Tibbs wants to go with that. I'm just going to look at the league real quick. Is there an obvious suitor for Turner? I mean, the Grizzlies just drafted Edey. Has he been rumored to the Warriors in the past? Has that ever been a thing? The Warriors were looking at Turner. I mean, they have Kuminga and obviously Draymond and Looney and the kid Trish Jackson Davis. I don't know about that one. Something about that doesn't pass the smell test for me. I mean, Phoenix would be, but what does Phoenix have to trade? I'm sure Phoenix would love Miles Turner. I'm sure the Lakers would love Miles Turner, but again, I don't. Well, they have the salary and they have the picks. That's interesting. All right, so maybe in the Pelicans. But the Pelicans aren't going to be buyers, so. So there will be teams. There will be teams. If you ask me right now, I don't see it, but I don't know. Thanks, Kev. Andrew's telling me to do it. I don't even know what he's telling me to do. Okay. Let's do we'll do the BetUS after this. Busy. Oh, got it. Busy. The jump pass doomed Sims. LOL. Rest in peace to his season. I don't want to say that. He's been really good for the last 3 weeks. I don't want to doom him. It may doom him. I don't think it will, and I don't think it should. I'll say that. Okay. Let us take a quick break to hear from our good friends. Good, if I could speak. Friends at BetUS. If you're looking for a new book this basketball season, BetUS is your answer. They have the fastest payouts in the industry, which you can take advantage of using promo code YouTube150 to receive 150% bonus on your first deposit, as well as 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits up to $2,000. Yes. They have everything you could possibly want. Fast and easy with deposit and withdrawal process. 24/7 personalized service. Live wagering on all major games. Betting variety on anything you want. 10% back on your net losses twice a year. You can find out more information about BetUS by clicking the link in the description below this episode and find out about things like the personal account manager that they can give you. Yes, personal, very personal stuff at BetUS. The promo code, again, YouTube150, get you that 150% bonus on your first deposit, plus the 125% on your next 2, up to $2,000. As a reminder, gambling involves risk. Please only gamble with funds that you can afford to lose. All forms of betting carry financial risk, and it is down to the individual to make bets with or without the assistance of the information provided. Whew.
By the way, Knicks were 14.5 favorites tonight. And that was not looking like a good bet in the first half when they were struggling to get any type of separation with the lead that first half against the Hornets, right?
Yes,
right? But then in the second half, they turned it around. And you could say that if you took the Knicks and the points tonight, it was a good bet. And you know what else is a good bet? The Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset presented by Turtle Beach. Use promo code KFS and get 10% off your purchase, ladies and gentlemen. Your entire purchase, not just the headset. Okay, so shout out to BetUS. Keep the graphics coming so I can make good on my deliverables. And then the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. Continue with your post-game show.
I want to know what Andrew had for dinner tonight. Or dessert, I guess. I don't know. I just have so many questions.
I had Moe's and a Juan Please. I'm chilling.
Well, I'm still having my Juan Please. I haven't had Moe's in so long. I had notions about getting Chipotle tonight, and I instead made some Trader Joe's cauliflower gnocchi, which were much less exciting than what I would have gotten at Chipotle.
I watched the Eastwood movie tonight, by the way.
How was it?
2.
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts. I want to know
I'll watch
Oz's thoughts. I want to know Oz's. I want to know all the former lawyers and lawyers that are currently lawyers because there's some courtroom questions I have. But Eastwood's a good director, so it made some of the nonsense bearable, is what I'll say. The drama was good.
I'm excited to see the film. I will.
I just have questions. I just have some logistical questions. That's all.
I may try to watch it tomorrow. We'll see if I can pull that off. I don't know.
There you go.
There you go. Okay. Eric Gentile, what's going on, Eric? Out of all the possible final team build scenarios Leon and Co. had planned out, I wonder where this one, Brunson, OG, Cat, Macau, was ranked. Loving it. Oh, God, what a great question. I mean, I'm just going to lean on the reporting, Eric. The reporting that came out in the immediate aftermath and even before the Towns trade has been that they have always been after Karl-Anthony Towns. If I had to wager a guess, their number one option probably contained Booker. And again, my guess is that once they saw that like the Phoenix thing was not going to go south and, you know, I don't know if the ownership situation had, you know, because they went from having the worst owner in the NBA or one of the worst owners. No, he was the worst owner in the NBA to having a guy that's clearly going to spend all kinds of money. So I don't know, is that, you know, but I have to think that maybe their plan A was like Brunson, Booker, Cat, like OG, Hart. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I think this one's pretty high up for sure. Thanks, Eric. Greg Film Stuff. Greg. Shout out to you, man. It was so cool of you to show up on my show last night that I did with Dexter. Which, by the way, was a lot of fun. And if you haven't seen it already, you should go watch it. Shout out New York Post Sports. Great to see you there. Always shout out to Dex and Brian. Yes, there you go. One of my Knicks fan coworkers thinks we are one wing creator off the bench from a trip to the finals. Who would you add? Names that come up: Kuzma, Lonnie Walker, Moody, Terrence Mann. No to Kuzma. Lonnie Walker's not gonna move the needle for me. Moody, I just don't think he's a wing creator, and also I don't know what that trade would look like. I don't know why the Warriors would trade him. I don't know what the Knicks would give up. I've always liked Terrence Mann, and I think the Clippers really like Terrence Mann too. If you're the Clippers, why would you trade Terrence Mann? Yeah, I get it. The Clippers may be bad. They may be looking to restock the cupboard and but Terrence, man, I love Terrence Mann. I just don't think Terrence Mann is gettable. I mean, Cam Johnson would require them to give up Mitch and Precious, which I gotta tell you, after tonight, I'm not sure I'm in such a rush to do. It's tricky because a lot of the guys that you see would require Mitch and Precious. And if you're just looking at what you could get for Mitch plus a minimum, or even Mitch plus like two minimums, I'm not sure who that second minimum would be. But putting that aside, it's just there's not as much good stuff out there. So yeah, I don't. Hold on, I'm pulling up right now. Give me a sec because I want to get you a guy. I mean, of the names you mentioned, Terrence Mann is easily the guy that I'd be most into. I just don't think that's realistic. I haven't looked at this list in a little while. I mean, Grant Williams was a name that a lot of people like. He's not a wing creator by any stretch of the imagination, but like he's out for the year. I don't think Herb Jones is a realistic. Dorian Finney-Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith. There's my answer. There's my other net answer. I think Dorian Finney-Smith is awesome. And well, maybe not awesome. I think he's really good. I think he'd be helpful. The other name that I'd at least make a phone call about, and they gave up essentially 2 firsts to get him. So again, much like Terrence Mann, I don't think he's on the table. But like, I'd call Portland and at least ask the question about Denny Avdia. I'd pick up the phone because that guy's really good. And I don't know why Portland, a team that I'm not sure what Portland's doing, and that's neither here nor there, but so I don't know. I don't know. But I like that guy. That guy's good. I don't know. But for all I know, maybe he costs more than Terrence Mann. But yeah. Thanks, Greg. Kevin Danishevsky, 52 win pace. I said 51, but the goal is 55 to beat 12-13. Is that your way of saying that you never want to hear Andrew Claudio crow about the 12-13 team ever again? Because it'll be a cold day in hell before that happens. Yeah, I mean, just I don't know. I don't know that I have a win total goal. I have a funny, like, for all we know, Kevin, they're going to be maybe in a situation, we saw this a couple years ago, where it's the last week of the season and they're too far behind second and they're too far ahead of fourth for those games to matter, and they just rest everybody. I don't know. It'd be cool to get 55 wins. That'd be cool. Thank you. Ben Kim Gervey. Hello, Ben. Another game holding the opposition below their points per game average while outscoring our own. Starting to believe. Hashtag winning fun, but winning fun. Hold on. Hashtag winning is better than fun.
Greater than fun.
Greater than fun. But winning fun is greater than winning. Winning
Sound
and
it out.
It's great. Winning fun greater than winning.
So what he's saying is winning is greater than fun, but winning fun is greater than winning. In other words, having fun while you're winning.
I thought it was like winning fun, like it's like a winning combination, like winning fun.
I think it is. Yes.
Look,
so like, oh, that was a fun win. Yes, we're winning fun these days. Rather than just winning ugly, you know?
Yeah.
Or winning bored. No, we're winning fun these days.
The first half was definitely interesting. Winning interesting. How about that?
Winning interesting. I'll take that over just winning.
Winning interesting is a good one. I've lost my train of thought. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Because Ben brought it up. Again, they've played the Hornets twice and the Magic, who are a bad offense, and one other crummy team? Oh, the Pelicans. All that being said,
I gotta check. Did they beat the Suns?
Oh,
tonight?
I saw they were ahead in the fourth quarter. You want to do
the Suns tonight?
Gee, wow.
Yeah. Kev, if you want to do a scoreboard, go ahead.
Yeah, no, let's do it. So I'm going to do it right now. But last 4 games, big sample size, 4 games. Knicks number 2 defense in the league to the Minnesota Timberwolves. How you doing? Okay. NBA scoreboard presented by our friends at T-Squared Social. Watch party coming up, couple weeks, December 21st. Be there or be squared. And if you are in the mood to go just have a great night out at a great establishment, T Squared Social is your place to be. Use code KFS. Go tell them KFS sent you and get a free draft beer and go enjoy all the things that they have going on because they're a great spot. Okay, out of town scoreboard. Cavs whooped up on the Nuggets. Nuggets are now 11-9. They've kind of fallen off a little bit. They had looked like they had kind of put things back together, and now maybe not so much. Cavs just keep rolling 20-3. Mavs blew out the Wizards. The Thunder beat the Raptors by 37 points. I will look up RJ's stats in that game. Grizzlies were in a tight game against the Kings. They ended up on top, 115-110. The Kings fall to 10-13. Not really what you want. I'm going to have to go and figure out how the freaking... Oh, that's how. Because they got their guys back, Andrew. Pelicans beat the Suns 126-124. I'll go look at that box score in a second, but Bulls beat the Spurs 139-124. So, Suns Pels... No, that's not what I need. Hold on. Here it is. Suns Pels. So the Pels had Ingram back and they had Herb Jones back. So they had a real lineup. They had Ingram, Jones, McCollum, and DeJounte Murray. And Missi, who's been... I was kind of impressed by Missi. I think he's a rookie, but he was okay. Didn't shoot it well tonight. And then off the bench... They put Trey Murphy III back on the bench. This walking wounded team has Trey Murphy III back on the bench. He did play 34 minutes, though, which means I'm sure they played some minutes where they had no true center on the floor, and they just had Murphy out there with Murray, McCollum, Jones, and Ingram. I'm assuming. I didn't watch the game, but I'm assuming. I hope they did that. Murphy was 7-11 from the field for 19 points. So they have a real team now. You know, give or take a Jeremiah Robinson Earl or a Javonte Green. But even Green, like you saw how hard he played the other night. So maybe the Pelicans aren't going to be a pushover anymore, which is notable because the Knicks play. Don't they play the Pelicans in the next game? Yeah, so that'll be that'll be a tough game, and the Knicks better be prepared. Kevin is giving me RJ's stats: 17-11, 5 for 16 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. So not a great RJ game. Okay.
Does who play the Pelicans their next game?
Don't we play the Pels, or we play the Pels after
we play the Pistons?
We play
the Pelicans the night of the watch party.
That's what I'm thinking of. We play the
yeah. The next
our
next watch party at T Squared Social is against the Pelicans. So hopefully a W. There is some talk. There should be an email coming tomorrow, by the way. There is some talk about it being an ugly sweater party, but with the theme of like, if you wear a Philly like a Sixers jersey or a Sixers shirt, it counts. Like it's an ugly sports jersey or apparel. We haven't worked out the rules yet, but yeah, prizes and all.
I'm trying to think of the ugliest piece of sports apparel that I have.
I have an Aaron Rodgers jersey. That would win.
Win in big air quotes there.
Say it again.
Yeah.
Say it again.
I said win in big air quotes there.
Yes. Yeah. And I could match it with my Brett Favre jersey. That collection is a fascinating one. Anyway, I was told that the next two super chats allude to the wonderful Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset.
I'm excited.
Yes.
As I wear my Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. Armand Bernajaj, does it cancel the noise if you want the noise?
No. Wait, yes, it does cancel the noise if you want the noise because it's noise canceling. So like I can't hear anything. My TV's on right now and I can't hear it in the other room.
My family could be dying and screaming right now, and I wouldn't know.
Not a ringing endorsement, but it is in concept effective. Yes.
Extremely.
Yes.
And Bernard Richardson, what if you bring the noise? Well, that is a great question. How about the funk?
Bring the boom. Bring the funk. You bring the
you
boom.
went boom, I went funk. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
That's what we do.
Sure. Anthony Sixto, we have arrived at the boring wins level of progress. I sign me up for how many more games I have? 60? Sign me up for 60 more of these. Love it. My real question, I just can't seem to find a comfy headset these days. You know, a headset one might call the Cadillac of headsets.
Well, Anthony, aren't you in luck? Because I've got the headset for you. It is the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. By the way, he meant Cadillac. He said Cadillac. He meant Lexus, but he ain't know it. This Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset is outstanding and perfect holiday gift for any gamer. Perfect stocking stuffer or Hanukkah gift. 10% off at the Turtle Beach store using promo code KFS.
In all seriousness, if you're thinking about getting a headset for yourself or someone, get this thing. It's really good. Yes. And if I swear to you, I literally just opened the box and pressed a button. I am the dumbest person at ask Andrew when it comes to anything that has buttons or that plugs in to the wall or your computer. And this was idiot proof. Let me tell you.
And I'll say this from the tech side. Like, I'm usually constrained to my office here, my little studio that I built because there's a wire and I have to be here. And obviously when I'm talking into a mic, I sit here, but I was editing a show the other day or producing a show the other day. And I was just listening. So that was the only part that was required of me. And I left the room and I was doing chores and I was going all the way to the other side of my apartment because the range on this thing is amazing. I was going through other sides of walls and it was awesome. So yeah, highly recommend the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset.
I got up the other
Beach store.
I got up the other day when I was like doing, I think, the playback or whatever, and I went and I was able to urinate in my bathroom, which is too far if I had a headset that was plugged in. But I was able to urinate and still hear what was going on thanks to the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset.
I mean, if that's not the most ringing endorsement of all, folks, I don't know what is. This comment is funny, and then I have to dip. From Anthony Sixto, Sam L is somewhere punching air. Sam, I hope you're having a happy holiday season. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving, and I hope you had a happy holiday season. Awesome. Yeah. I hope these little breaks didn't deter you from ever showing up. All right, I'm off for the night. I hope you have no interruptions. Take care, everybody.
Oh, here we go.
What? Who's your favorite Pokemon? Sam. Oh, he's right here. By the way, quick break to tell you about. No, we're out of ads, so we waited until the very end to answer Sam's comments, so it would be uninterrupted. My favorite Pokemon was always Charizard.
My age doesn't. I mean, I know some of the names. I was actually though before. Because I got an email that we got my daughter a Switch for Christmas last year that like I had some Nintendo Gold coins that were running out, so we were looking for a game to purchase before, and I saw they had a Pokemon game with something with the name Scarlet in it, and I have no idea what it is, but I don't know that I'm pretty sure there's no Scarlet Pokemon, but I was like, oh, it's your name, and we didn't get it, but that was interesting because that's the most that is what.
Is he asking favorite Pokemon, just the Pokemon, or favorite Pokemon game?
Probably just favorite Pokemon. I don't have a favorite Pokemon. Pikachu, I guess.
So right? The Game Boy, way back when. I don't know if you're too old for the Game Boy.
I know the Game Boy.
Okay. John, I was in 5th grade. I didn't know if you had like grown out of Game Boys by then. You would have been in like high school,
dude.
So
Game Boy.
So the Game Boy Color when Pokemon came out is what I'm talking about.
No.
Not the original Game Boy where you guys played Pong and that's it, and Tetris.
No, it was Tetris.
Right. And we had games with color on them when I got a Game Boy. So that's what I'm saying is in my generation, when Pokemon came to Game Boy, the first 2 games were red and blue. Then they released a Pokemon, and like only certain Pokemon were available on the red game and on the blue game, and they made you like make friends and plug in a wire. Then yellow came out, and it had all the Pokemon, and Pikachu walked around with you at all times, and that was like the appeal of it. It was like the TV show. And then they released silver and gold, and then I'm checking it now after I had grown up. They had Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
There you go. So that's what I came across. What was the thing where people were like walking into traffic because they were like trying to find?
So that's Pokemon Go. It was an app that got downloaded.
Yeah.
And you literally went and found Pokemon in real life. They were like, it was based off of maps. It was kind of a scary. You were like basically using your camera to film where you were at all times, which was a bit of a security situation, especially if your kids were playing this. And then Hillary Clinton made a joke about you should Pokemon go to the polls. And here we are 8 years later.
On that note, let's finish this live stream.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Andrew. Godspeed. Justin Richards, John, think back to December 3rd, 2022. I remember that. I'll never forget that day. Knicks get blown out by Dallas at home, and we all thought this was over. What a time. It was a low point. That was the low. Well, there were 2 low points of my time doing this. Only 2. I mean, June 30th, 2018 will always, that'll always live on. But that was the other one that comes to mind. Yeah. Not great. Now? Great. Danny Small, money already won. Maury already won Executive of the Year. He got 3 guys better than Jalen Brunson. Yeah, just ask who said that. I forget who said that. One of the idiots said that. Thank you, Danny. Bernard with another one. Thank you, Bernard Richardson. It's not Leon for Executive of the Year. It's Brock Aller's award. I mean, all kidding aside, I wonder how much they consider the creativity of the deal making in giving that award. I bet they will. That's a great. I mean, I don't know if you meant it like that, Bernard, but that's a great comment because they should. They should consider it. Thank you, Bernard. Al Boogie NYC. The fact that we lost iHeart and was able to fill that slot with Cat is truly amazing. Feels like every move this front office has made has worked. Yeah, I mean the big one now is Bridges. We gotta see about that because they gave up a lot, and whether or not the Bridges move is a different sort of move because you can't judge it based on what those picks turn into. You also have to judge the opportunity cost. And the Bridges trade, sadly, almost regardless of what he does, will be impacted in terms of judging that trade, will be impacted by whether there are any stars that demand out in their current situations. And obviously everybody's going to have their eye on Milwaukee, although they've seemed to have righted the ship in the next couple of years. And I guess specifically like this summer, because that's really what it comes down to. Like, should they have waited another year? Should they have held on to the picks for another year? So the opportunity cost aspect of the Bridges trade is going to be the biggest test for how this front office will be judged. But by and large, like, yeah, they've nailed everything. Thanks, Al Boogie. Kev Danishevsky. TJ's cauliflower gnocchi freaking bangs, man. It was good. It was good. I did it with some pesto sauce, Trader Joe's pesto sauce, which was also good. I love gnocchi, and there's nothing, and you can't really replicate a true like also in my freezer are the sweet potato gnocchis, which come with their own sauce. Those are like really delicious. But again, that's an actual potato or a yam or whatever of some kind. Cauliflower is cauliflower, and you can kind of taste the difference. I also had some red pepper that I put a little bit too much on, so I was like, I made it a little bit too spicy for myself. But that's not Trader Joe's fault. No, they're good. They're solid, and like for the calories and the carbs and all that, like it's good. Thanks, Kev. And last one, Bernard Richardson. What's Kispert's situation? Well, they extended him, which means he can't be traded until December or January. Hold on. If I could spell Corey Kispert. Kispert. So a couple things going on there. You got a poison pill situation. Oh, he can't be traded until the summer. Yeah. Oh, no, he can be traded, but the poison pill is in effect until next summer. Okay. So that means it is, how does it work again? It's incoming. Is it incoming the full value or it's outgoing the full value? I think it's incoming the full value, outgoing, right? Do I have this right? Oh, I hope I didn't screw this up. Outgoing, it's the difference between the average annual value of the contract and the current number that he's on, which currently he's on the fourth year of his rookie deal, which is only 5.7. I don't know. To me, you'd have to put the contract stuff aside, which I don't think it's going to be feasible. But let's just, for argument's sake, say the Wizards were cool trading him. Why would they trade that guy for anything less than something that would like really blow them away? So, translation: New York's 2030 unprotected swap. If I'm Washington, yeah, I'd probably trade Kispert for that swap. And if I'm the Knicks, am I giving up that swap, my last great draft asset? Am I giving that up for Kispert? I don't know that I am. I like Kispert a lot. He's really good. But, yeah, I don't know. Tough one. Good ask, though. Good question. All right. Thanks, Bernard. And I think that's it. So thank you to everybody who watched, everybody who listened, even if you're listening tomorrow on Friday. Oh, wait, no. Wait, hold on. One more. Oh, it's another one from Bernard. Don't forget we have Executive of the Year Brock Aller. Yeah, if there's a will, there's a way. If there's a will, there's a way. I gotta look up the freaking poison pill thing because now I'm forgetting it. It's annoying me. Okay. Anyway, thank you for watching another post game from your friends at Knicks Film School. Thank you to Andrew Claudio for hopping on. I can say it now because we've made it the whole way. My Wi-Fi has been acting up all night, so I asked Andrew to hop on in case I disappeared offhandedly. And it didn't happen, and Andrew Claudio gave us his night anyway. So thank you, Andrew. And thank you, Kevin, for producing this episode. If you dig the show and you want to help us out, give us a 5-star rating, leave a positive review. Just tell your friends, tell your cousin, tell anybody. Yeah, we'll be back with we got Casual Friday tomorrow. Pre-game pod coming this weekend. Post-game for me on Saturday. I'll be on a regular episode on Sunday, dropping Monday or Sunday into Monday at midnight. Lots of good stuff. We always got stuff. And if you haven't already done so, check out the film breakdown by DJ Zulo. That is on the Knicks Film School YouTube channel. Best film work in the business, him and Benji. They are 2 of 2. So, all right, that's it. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Peace out.